Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your July 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering the major transits for the month ahead using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I recommend that you watch your rising sun and moon sign horoscopes, but if you only have time to watch one horoscope today, I would start with your ascendant sign, otherwise known as your rising sign horoscope. And that is because it will be the most accurate for you overall. Your sun sign horoscope will tell you more about your career and your life goals, whereas your moon sign horoscope will pertain more to your family life, your relationships, your living circumstances, as well as your emotional needs and your emotional health and well-being. And now let's get into the reading. On the 2nd of July, Mars in Aries in your 10th house is going to make a square to Pluto in Capricorn in your 7th house. This square will be formed at 27 degrees, and this is actually the opening square, which follows on from the Mars and Pluto conjunction that we saw on the 3rd of March earlier this year. So, some themes that were occurring around early March may be cropping back up for you now. This particular transit is one which is quite emotionally charged. So you may be going through some sort of internal conflict when it comes to realizing what you want out of friendships and relationships and your love life. Now, this can see you reassessing who you want to do business with, and this could come about through some sort of conflict or tension that you experience with someone in the workplace. Now, on the relationship front, for those of you who are in committed relationships or marriages, this can see you experiencing tensions with your partner or perhaps arguing with them. Now, this could be about your career, given that Mars is in your 10th house and the 10th house is connected to your career. This could be to do with starting your own business, as represented by Mars ruling over your 5th house. This tension or these arguments could be about the status of your relationship. So maybe one of you wants to take your relationship to the next level, whether that is becoming exclusive, getting engaged, getting married, or perhaps you're looking at combining resources with one another, and maybe you're not really on the same page with that. And I'm saying this because the 7th house, where Pluto is, represents your long-term relationship, and it represents committed partnerships and relationships, really. And also Pluto represents mutual resources. So on a different note, you could be having a disagreement with your significant other about starting a family, as indicated by Mars ruling over the 5th house, or your partner may be going through a difficult period with respect to their family. So maybe they are arguing with their family or with their parents. Now, stick with me, Cancer, because I promise there are more light-hearted transits that are coming later in the month. Nevertheless, with Mars in Aries in your 10th house, squaring Pluto in Capricorn in your 7th house, this can see you experiencing some sort of discord with your boss or with a person who is in a position of authority. So this could be people at the top of the ladder, so to speak, in your workplace, or this could be a time where you're getting into trouble with the law. So just be mindful about that. And once again, the date is the 2nd of July. I just want to say, though, that with this transit, this is an opportunity for you to reclaim your power within your personal one-to-one relationships. And this is also an amazing opportunity for you to really break out of the mold and do whatever it is that you want to do with regard to your career, starting your own business, and really taking control of how people perceive you in terms of your professional image or even just your public status. Now, on the 5th of July, Mars is going to enter the sign of Taurus, which means it will be transiting your 11th house, and it will be in your 11th house until the 20th of August. So this can see you being bold and making the first move when it comes to initiating new connections and basically inviting other people to collaborate with you. The 11th house represents your wider network, and it also represents friends and collaborations, and it is considered to be a social house. So this can see you forming some new business connections or perhaps meeting people who could become prospective clients in the future. And for some of you, you may be asking someone to financially support or sponsor your business, as represented by Mars ruling over the 5th house and the 10th house. Now, the 11th house is connected to long term projects and your goals and dreams. So, this could see you pursuing some sort of long term project. This could even be a 2-year process. And I'm saying that because Mars transiting Taurus indicates a new 2-year cycle, which will last until Mars re enters the sign of Taurus. Now, on a different note, you may actually start some sort of new social media platform or account. And also, the 11th house is connected to groups and communities. So, this can see you joining a new group or community. On the flip side, Mars represents cutting things out because Mars rules over anything which is sharp, whether that is literal or figurative. So you could be cutting away from certain groups or communities. You could be cutting off a friendship or people's access to you. So maybe you are doing a bit of a cull when it comes to your social media following or the people that you follow, or perhaps you're just deciding that you can't be bothered with certain friends or with being a part of certain groups. Now, this can see you experiencing discord or arguments with friends or perhaps even older siblings. And I'm saying that because the 11th house rules over friends as well as older siblings. And, you know, on a different note, the 11th house rules over long-term gains as it is a money house. So this can see you pursuing some form of passive income. So this could be connected to the stock market, this could be connected to cryptocurrencies, or looking at how you can earn revenue or money from your business, but with little effort. So this could look like creating a product and you only have to create it once and then it's available for sale and it's just like, money that's making itself, so to speak. Now, on the 13th of July, Venus in Gemini in your 12th house is going to make a trine to Saturn in Aquarius in your 8th house, and this will be at 24 degrees. Trines are very harmonious aspects which can bring blessings or some sort of benefit to us. So essentially, this can see you potentially receiving help or support, and this could be anonymously, or this could be support or assistance that you receive that you have to keep a secret. And I'm saying that because the 12th house rules over that which is hidden. The 8th house is also connected to keeping things secret. And Venus represents relationships and friendships. And Venus rules over your 11th house, which represents your friends, your wider network, as well as beneficiaries or people who are helping you or sponsoring you. So again, because this trine is taking place between the 12th house and the 8th house, which are these hidden houses in astrology, it could be that someone does a favor for you, but they don't want other people to know about it. So you can't say where you received money from, or you can't say where you received help from. On a different note, the person who potentially gives you money, so they could be donating something to you or showing you some sort of charity, as shown by the 12th house, their identity could remain anonymous. So you could have no idea where money has come from. Maybe someone has sent you something to your PO box, just as a random example. Now, This could see someone paying off a debt for you. And I'm saying that because the eighth house represents taxes, and as well as the sixth house, the eighth house is connected to debts. So this could see someone helping you in that respect. They could be helping you with your taxes. Maybe they're helping you with offshore accounts or hiding money from certain authorities. And on a different note, and a very, very different note at that, this can see you establishing some sort of ongoing hidden affair. So Saturn represents arrangements and agreements. It is in the eighth house of sex. Venus represents relationships, and it is in the 12th house, which is connected to affairs. And this could be with an older person, or there could just be a significant age gap one way or another. Now, it's not all money and sex. This particular transit could see you having some sort of profound spiritual or occult experience, and this could somehow ground your views on the occult in a very practical way. So maybe you feel like you've finally received proof or evidence of, something which is beyond most people's comprehension. And this could be something which is uh, quite inexplicable. So maybe you can't even articulate this experience. It could have come through when you were meditating or when you were in some sort of trance, or maybe even when you were under the influence. And again, this trine to Saturn in the eighth house represents your grounded knowledge of this, occult realm. Now, on the 17th/18th of July, depending where you live in the world, Venus is going to enter Cancer, which is amazing. We love, love, love when Venus transits the first house. So it will be there until the 11th of August. And this can see you feeling more attractive, more beautiful. Maybe you're glowing. You could be receiving a lot of compliments during this period of time. You could be attracting a lot of people towards you. And this could be quite unconscious. So maybe when you're out and about, there's just a lot of people coming up to you. And, on one hand, they could be complimenting your appearance. On a different level, though, they could just be wanting to make friends with you, or you could be having a lot of flirtations around this time. So you could be feeling very flirtatious. And for some of you, a new romance could start during this 3-week period. And on a different note, you may just feel more balanced, okay? Because Venus rules harmony and peace. So you could be experiencing more balance in terms of your physical body, or you could just be feeling more peaceful and happier. And lastly, you may be indulging in your appearance, because Venus rules over beauty. So this could see you treating yourself to a spa day, a makeover, getting your hair done, maybe a nice massage. Maybe you're just going to be enjoying socializing a lot during this time, especially as Venus rules over your 11th house. So there could just be lots of social engagements which are very fun for you to attend. Now, on the 28th/29th of July, depending where you live in the world, Jupiter is going to station retrograde in Aries at 8 degrees, and this will be in your 10th house. Now, Jupiter has been transiting your 10th house since the 10th of May. So whatever you have initiated, or anything that's sort of come up between now and then, this can be what you are focusing on for the next few months while Jupiter is retrograde until the 23rd of October. So this can see you focusing on your career. Some of you may be wanting to receive a promotion. And essentially, Jupiter is connected to wealth, abundance, prosperity. It is also representative of influential figures. It can lead to some sort of expansion in whatever house it's going through. So typically speaking, Jupiter through the 10th house will either lead you to more expansion and growth in your career. It can lead you to freedom or liberation from a career that you no longer want to pursue or be part of. This can see some of you focusing on setting yourself up for retirement. And on a different level, Jupiter through the 10th house can basically lead you to having an elevated status or position in society. So let's focus on career and obtaining a promotion for a moment. When Jupiter is retrograde, it can make it harder to achieve these things. So, on one hand, maybe you have been given some sort of indication that you're next in line for a promotion or that you're on track for expansion and growth within your career. And yet, there may be some sort of need for you to have experience in the field. And I'm saying this because Jupiter represents experience and it represents wisdom and knowledge gained through personal experience. So maybe your boss is telling you that, hey, this job is yours, this promotion is yours, but you need to prove it first. You need to work for it, or you need to have a certain set of experiences, or maybe it's even a time frame. Maybe it's you need to work on this for 6 months and then we'll reassess your ability to progress to the next level. In any case, Jupiter represents our big dreams and our goals, and it really, a healthy Jupiter, so to speak, doesn't have limitations. Jupiter is optimism and positivity. So this can see you knowing what you want for your career or for your future, whether this is wanting to retire, wanting to become your own boss, or wanting to have a job that involves certain experiences, but now you've got to work for it. So Jupiter will re-enter the sign of Aries on the 20th of December. So basically, Jupiter will station retrograde now, at the end of July. And then at the end of October, it's going to re-enter the sign of Pisces. So basically, we're going to wait till Jupiter goes back into Aries on the 20th of December, and then it's full steam ahead when it comes to expanding your career, your potential to receive this promotion, or perhaps even your ability to resign from your job or, leave the workforce altogether. Of course, Jupiter is connected to getting published and also the highest level possible of education. So when Jupiter, which in your case rules over your 9th house of education, transits your 10th house, this can see you getting published. This could see you being eligible for participating in a master's program or a PhD program, but maybe there's an intense application process that you need to go through before you can achieve these things. Now, lastly, for the month, on the 31st of July, we are going to see Uranus, the North Node, and Mars form a conjunction in the sign of Taurus. Uranus and the North Node will be conjunct at 18 degrees, while Mars will be trailing behind a little bit at 17 degrees. So the conjunction between Uranus and the North Node only occurs once every 15 to 16 years. So it's a pretty big deal. Let's make a big deal about it. And really, Uranus and the North Node share some similarities. So they are both connected to innovation, experimentation. They are both very adventurous and rebellious in a sense. And Mars shares a similar quality in that all three are interested in pioneering and experiencing something new. And also, Mars rules over engineering, and we've got Uranus representing new inventions and new innovations, and the North Node, as well as Uranus, happens to be connected to technology. So I think that having this conjunction take place in the 11th house is extremely exciting for you Cancerians, because the 11th house represents our long-term goals and dreams for the future. The 11th house is already the most futuristic house of the whole zodiac. So this can see you having a sudden download of information when it comes to something that you want to innovate, invent, or engineer. Now, let's go through a few different ways that this can play out for you. The 11th house represents groups, communities, and networks. And just by the way, some of what I'm saying here is going to overlap with what I mentioned earlier about Mars transiting your 11th house because, we're still looking at the same energies. Nevertheless, with the 11th house representing groups, communities, and networks, this can see you joining a new group or community. Now, because Mars rules over your 10th house, which represents positions of leadership and authority, you could be the one who is actually forming a new group or community. And this could be to do with your career, as represented by Mars ruling over your 10th house. This could be the start of something new, which is connected to forming a new business, or this could be you launching a new business because Mars rules over your 5th house. And just by the way, if you're a Cancer who is looking to pick a launch date for a new business or perhaps a new product or a service which is connected to your existing business, I would do it when this conjunction takes place, which is on the 31st of July. Yes, it is making a square to Saturn, but this is still a transit or a conjunction which can see you actually going viral. And that is because Uranus can indicate it can indicate sudden awareness, which is instantaneous. So when we see people who just like go famous overnight or a video goes viral, within a few hours, you can bet your bottom dollar that this person is experiencing a significant transit which involves Uranus, or maybe they are an Aquarius. Now, on a different note, this can see you joining this group or community, and it could be really unexpected, or a group or a community that you are part of could suddenly become really well known or really famous. Just to give you like a very random example, if you think about how Scientology, like when it started, everyone was just talking about it. And I know that that would involve sort of like Jupiter or the ninth house, but I just wanted to throw it out there that it's like a group or a community could suddenly become the focal point of the world for some reason, and this could be something that you're part of. Now, you could be joining a group or a community or starting a new network, which is very progressive. Maybe this is centered around sharing resources, as indicated by Taurus, or it could be something to do with food or nature, or perhaps this is to do with cryptocurrencies and the stock market, or maybe you're joining an astrology community. If you are interested in becoming an astrologer, this would be an awesome time to start your astrology career or start your own YouTube channel or page or whatever it is. On a different note, Uranus is connected to rebellions and riots, and Mars obviously can have an aggressive sort of energy. So you could be involved in some sort of riot or rebellion, or you could be forming a union or joining a union. And on a different note, with the 11th house being connected to your long-term goals and dreams, maybe you are finally acting on something that you've wanted to engineer or invent or innovate. And this could be something which is designed to reach a large group of people, help large groups or communities. This could be grounded in humanitarian efforts. This could be something to do with technology or developing some sort of app or website. And lastly, the 11th house represents our long-term gains. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a social house. It's also a money house. So this can see you basically receiving or trying to engage someone who can sponsor your business, sponsor your idea. Maybe this is you entering into a Kickstarter program, and many of you Cancerians will be looking at how you can set yourself up for the future. And that is because the 11th house represents salaries and pensions and passive income, residual income, as well as, rents, royalties, and dividends. So maybe this is a new chapter that is starting, which is going to ideally span the next 15 years. In any case, it is one of the most exciting transits for 2022, and I'm very curious to hear how this plays out for you. So by all means, please feel free to drop me a comment, once you've experienced this transit. And so, Cancer, that's all I have for you for July 2022. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead, Cancer, and I will see you in August.